Weather situation. If you're just joining us for the first time, we want to get you up to speed on what's happening. If you're rejoining us from some of our tornado warning coverage earlier that Nicholas was leading on, this is not a tornado situation right now, but it could become one. We have a very impressive storm right now over Mobile Bay, and it's moving up the bay right now. Here's a look at it, and Nicholas is on the radar right now. He's got a good handle on what's going on with this, and I do too. We're just going to continue to monitor it as it starts to fill in around Baldwin County. This is a really strong thunderstorm. It is a severe thunderstorm. It is a very large thunderstorm. There are a lot of elements to it. We've got a ton of lightning, mainly out over the bay. However, some of this frequent lightning is spreading in around Weeks Bay, Mullet Point, Point Clear, and up towards Fairhope and to the east of Fairhope here. We're under a severe thunderstorm warning until 8:30, and this is for the potential of winds up to about 60 miles per hour and small hail. We may see some penny-sized hail out of this storm. This is a very large mid-level circulation. It is not creating a surface circulation, so we're not under a tornado warning at this time. It is the same cell that prompted a tornado warning for about 15 to 20 minutes here over Heron Bay. That's over with now as far as the tornado threat. And what we're seeing here is there is a bowing out of the wind here on the southern flank of this thunderstorm. That wind has not quite made it to Mullet Point yet, but it's moving in very quickly. And the forward speed on this thing, it's moving east at 25 miles an hour. So this is moving this way, maybe a little north of due east. It's going to come across the bay and fill in, and it'll be coming ashore somewhere between Bon Secours River, definitely Weeks Bay, Mullet Point, and Point Clear, and it's going to continue tracking on off through southern Baldwin County. We've got team coverage right now here on Fox 10 News. We're going to keep that going into the overnight hours tonight. We have a tremendous severe weather threat in our area tonight. Nick is putting up a storm track right there. And Nick, let's talk about, to tell the folks a little bit about some of the communities that are about to be impacted by this impressive thunderstorm.
Yeah, we were mentioning it earlier when we were live for our tornado warning. There was a tornado warning earlier, of course, issued for the far southeastern portion of Mobile County. We had some rotation there. The rotation became more broad. The wind pushed out. And now we have a severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for southern Baldwin County. I have the track up that shows where this thing is going. And you can see the Barnwell community. So just there off the eastern shore there, just south of Fairhope. That time, 7:53 about. Then, if this thing continues to hold together within the severe thunderstorm warning, Summerdale 8:16, Robertsdale 8:08, 8:22 in Foley, and then eventually 8:34 in Alberta. This strong thunderstorm that is drifting rather slowly off to the north and east right now is our main concern. Elsewhere across the area, we are monitoring other situations. We do have light rain that is falling across a good portion of our area surrounding this thunderstorm. But the main deal right now is this thunderstorm that is moving over the eastern shore. In fact, I think what we'll do right now, we're going to kind of work our way down the eastern shore. We're going to start here up near Spanish Fort and Interstate 10 and kind of work our way down, kind of talk about what's going on. So in Spanish Fort right now, we have heavy rain that is falling. Also in Malbus, Spanish Fort High School, all the way up the highway there, just north of Interstate 10, Highway 225. You're seeing some heavy rain there, but that is not the severe part of the storm, according to the warning. If you're in Lake Forest right now, you're dealing with heavy rain, possibly some lightning, some gusty winds. Bell Forest and Daphne along County Road 64, some heavy rain falling. This is outside of the severe thunderstorm warning, however. Heading down County Road 13 near Montrose, 98, getting towards Greeno Road, 181 as well. Once you get to 104, heavy rain is falling. Downtown Fairhope technically included in the severe thunderstorm warning. You can actually see the polygon right here. That is the edge, the northern edge of the polygon there. This is skirting portions of southern Fairhope. The high school is located right here. This is County Road 32, County Road 13. That's Point Clear. As you can see that we have some very heavy rain falling as indicated in the red there, and also some very gusty winds. If you're in Barnwell, down Highway 1, as you get all the way down to the mouth of Weeks Bay, we have some very, very heavy rain that is falling. And also, when I turn on the velocity, that is some very strong wind getting picked up as well on the velocity. I'll actually query this so you can see what numbers we're talking about. 61 miles per hour, 62 miles per hour. Where is that located? Just along 98 there, south of 32, Turkey Branch. This is the end of 181 there, that southern end of 181. There's a couple communities here near Turkey Branch. That is Turkey Drive, Pecan Drive, some of the places that are seeing some of the heaviest rain and heaviest wind at this point. Saddlebrook, Dominion, right now, that community there, just south of 98 along Weeks Bay, seeing some of the heaviest wind right now. And Jason, the rotation is really broad at this point, not worried about that. This really does look like a severe wind situation with some very heavy wind rolling into that part of Baldwin County.
Yeah, straight line winds is definitely a big concern with this cell as it's moving to the east and coming ashore here along the eastern side of Baldwin County and Mobile Bay. And this could potentially be an issue further up the bay as well. But it looks like the strongest wind part of it is where you have that bowing out segment showing up on the velocity product. So there are different ways that we can see what's going on with a thunderstorm. And traditional radar only gave us reflectivity, which is the way you're used to looking at it. And with reflectivity, we can see just how much rain is coming out of a storm and how heavy that rainfall rate would be. This is a little different. This is a velocity product, and so it tells us if those rain particles are going towards the radar or away from the radar. And when we see real strong inbound velocities or outbound velocities, it can show us the potential for a lot of wind. And looking at it here, very, very heavy winds going on, easily up around 60 miles per hour. There's also another layer to this, and we have the overlay of the lightning strikes, and these are all lightning strikes that are within the last 15 minutes, and you can see them there. So the lightning concentration is super high all along Fish River, all along Highway 98, all around Point Clear, Grand Hotel area, and up to Fairhope, and that is spreading to the east, so it's tracking towards Highway 59. Robertsdale, Summerdale, Foley, you were in this severe thunderstorm as well. And this is reflectivity. So Nicholas just switched from the velocity to the actual reflectivity. And of course, in addition to being able to track this and follow this here on your live stream, we also encourage you, if you don't have it, to download our Fox 10 weather app. It's free and it provides severe weather alerts. It also gives us an idea. We'll have video updates of what's going on there, and you have radar, so you can track along with us at home. Now, this is not a tornado warning situation, but it is a severe thunderstorm warning situation. We've got some really heavy rain in the upper portion of Mobile Bay up to Fairhope and Daphne. We've got some live cameras. Looks like we're at Fairhope Pier there. That's right. So, yeah, Fairhope Pier. Look at the lightning strikes right there, Nicholas.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, when I was live earlier, we briefly pulled up the Dauphin Island camera, and the lightning was absolutely prolific. And now it looks like the main core of lightning is just south of this camera. This camera's at the Fairhope Pier. Looks like the main core lightning is just south of this camera, but goodness, it is a lot of lightning at this time. I honestly probably would not want to be that person that's sitting there in their car at the pier. That would be a rough ride right now with some heavy rain and lots of lightning.
Yeah, one car out there. I don't think anybody's getting any fishing done tonight. Here, let's take a look at it on reflectivity. We'll switch back to it. And so this thunderstorm, the rain right now in Fairhope is really off the charts heavy. And a lot of spots saw 4 to 5 inches of rain in our area last night. The soil is saturated. So as we continue to see these thunderstorms, there will be a heightened risk of some localized flooding going on in our area tonight. We have the potential for winds up around 60 miles per hour with this thunderstorm, and also abundant lightning strikes that are occurring. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning. We're not seeing a tornado warning here, but I want to show you what's happening back off to the west, because this is not the main event. We're getting a really horrible thunderstorm over Mobile County and Baldwin County right now. But look at the squall line to the west, and it looks like there are tornado warnings up from the far eastern parishes of Louisiana all the way up the line to about Forest and Lake, Mississippi. So this is going to be a little bit to the east of Jackson. Also going to include some of the communities between Hattiesburg and Jackson, like Collins. Looks like a tornado warning for the Collins area right now on Highway 49. So yeah, Columbia, Mississippi, up towards about Collins there. And really all along this line, there are all these little bends and bows and kinks in the line. And so the National Weather Service is just warning basically for the whole line as one big giant tornado warning. This is moving to the east, and it's going to move into our area later tonight. What we're seeing right now would be just an initial round of thunderstorms that's moving into the area. And so with the atmosphere being primed and that line approaching, we are under a tornado watch. Now, a tornado watch does not mean we're having a tornado right now. It just means that conditions are favorable for tornadoes. That's not a good setup. And this tornado watch is in effect through 2 a.m. And it is covering all the counties in our forecast area. So we're going to see that, and most likely it will be continued beyond 2 a.m. too, because it may be a while before the squall line moves through. We've seen a lot of rotation along that line, along that squall line. So we do have the tornado risk for tonight. There is a lot of different elements to this, and this is what the Futurecast is showing. It's showing that cluster of storms that's over Mobile Bay lifting to the north, and then here comes the squall line coming in from the west. We still don't have that squall line in our area as of about 10 p.m. We could see isolated cells ahead of the line that could be tornadic or problematic. It's possible we may go quiet along the immediate coast ahead of that squall line. We've got it entering the forecast area between 10 and 11 p.m. This is a little ahead of the schedule and of what some of the models were showing last night. It has the squall line in Mobile County at midnight, and I'm particularly concerned about this part of the squall line, kind of the north, right when it's moving through Washington County, Clark County. That's when it's in that higher risk zone for severe weather. And we'll have some isolated cells ahead of that squall line that could become tornadic as well. And then this is 1 a.m. here coming through Mobile, around 2 in the morning for Atmore, Pensacola. This is going to be a long duration event. The Panhandle starting to experience bad conditions around 3 a.m. And then finally, by about daybreak tomorrow morning, we'll see it exit our area. There it is at 5 a.m. And we're probably at the point that it's mostly over into Walton County. It's going to be a long night. So we're going to stay with you here on our live stream, and we'll be in and out on that. And we're also going to have updates as necessary on Fox 10 News. And so this is what we're thinking with the timing for tonight. The scattered storms, we're in that phase right now. The squall line comes in later tonight, and the greatest severe weather risk is going to be along and to the north and west of Interstate 65. So that's going to include places like Monroe County, Clark County, Washington County, Greene County, George County, and Mobile County. And most of this will be over with by the time the sun comes up tomorrow. So the conditions will improve in that forecast. Nicholas?
Yeah, and I'm getting some questions that people want to see the timeline again. This is a very, very rough. We just went through the timeline on Futurecast. This is a very rough look at the timeline on a map, so you can see right now through 4 a.m. for our western counties is when we have that squall line that rolls through here, or the initial thunderstorms, then eventually the squall line that rolls through here. Once that squall line passes through your area, that is it. You are done with the severe weather threat. We're hoping that squall line gets through the center portion of our area, Baldwin County, Monroe County, as late as 5 a.m. This is probably a later number than it actually is. It might be closer to 4, but either way, there's kind of your rough timeline. If you're in Northwest Florida, your threat starts to ramp up around 9 p.m., and then ends around 6 a.m. as we push this thing finally out of here, as Jason just mentioned, around daybreak. If you're in Fairhope, again, that's the 7 to 5 p.m. Bay Minette's the 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. Atmore's the 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. Monroeville's the 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. Jackson's the 5 p.m. to 4 a.m. Chatham's the 5 p.m. to 4 a.m. 5 p.m. to 4 a.m. for Leakesville, Loosedale, so now through 4 a.m. Pascagoula, Grand Bay, Big Creek Lake, 5 p.m., 4 a.m., places like that. So that is the deal with our overall timing. But again, right now, we do have some imminent threat, and that is a big supercell thunderstorm that is going on right now. This is one of our algo cameras along So this is in Fairhope, just near 104 there, and this is actually one of the heavier parts of the thunderstorm at this very moment. So if you're in Rock Creek right now, you are getting hammered by some very, very heavy rain at this point there. If you're along County Road 13, some of the neighborhoods behind that as well, along 181, some very, very heavy rain right now. Also along 181. If you're downtown Fairhope, some of the heaviest rain is falling at this time along County Road 13. Some of the heaviest rain falling at the high school as well. And then also rough winds occurring as you go all the way down to the end of 13, end of 181. Quick question, let's see, what is the timeline on the straight line winds you were talking about? That timeline that I was just mentioning, the 11 p.m. for our eastern areas, then going all the way to 9 p.m., 6 a.m. for our far eastern areas, western areas 5 p.m. to 4 a.m., eastern areas 9 p.m. to 6 p.m. That is our big squall line timing. The squall line will get there around the middle of that timeline. And we can take a look at Futurecast again, actually, just so you can see this.
And this is a little different than the timeline for the straight line winds that's associated with the severe thunderstorm warning that's happening right now. If you're in Baldwin County, it's definitely, we'll put up a storm track for you. It's definitely a situation where it's a short term. You're going to have gusty winds and straight line wind damage potentially any time now in southern Baldwin County. And that live camera is a little north of where the bad winds are, but certainly in the core of some very, very heavy rain. So if you look at the timestamp up here, as of midnight, that's when we expect the possible straight line wind damage and also tornadoes embedded along this line. It's going to be moving through the area. So we're getting into the area around 10 through about 3 or 4 a.m. That's the most likely time to be experiencing this line. It's going to move through the area from the west to the east. But this Futurecast gives you a good idea of what we're seeing there, Nicholas.
Yeah, and let's go back to the current conditions right now as the squall line is approaching our area. Let's go back into Baldwin County and see what's going on here. It looks like we have some of the heaviest rain. They have trimmed that severe thunderstorm warning slightly. But if you're in Fairhope, just south of the high school, we have some very heavy winds that are going on there. Going to kind of switch up the radar once again, reset it, and we're going to zoom back in and focus in on Fairhope here, as that is the area that is seeing some of the heaviest storms at this time. If you're near Fish River, Clay City Road, River Park Road, Champion Road, Danny Road, State Highway 181, County Road 13, Thompson Hall Road, County Road 48, the Fairhope Falls community, Fairhope High School, some of those other communities near the high school, near Founders Park, Fairhope Avenue, all the way out to where it becomes County Road 48. Lawrence Road as you get up to Silver Hill, that is the main focus area for our severe thunderstorm warning at this point. That is where we have some of the strongest wind going on right now. Take a look along Fish River right now. Some of these bright colors, this is pushing some very, very strong winds through the area at this point. That is why we have that severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued. Right now along County Road 32, that intersection of County Road 32 and County Road 9, there's Dollar General there along 32. That's as you're making your way towards 59 mile per hour winds being measured by radar there with our velocity. So it is going to be a rough little time there along County Road 9, County Road 32, just to the south of Silver Hill, getting towards Silver Hill, also in Summerdale there. Some rough conditions with that wind. And I'm going to pull this out just a little bit and look at the bigger picture once again. I'm getting some questions about Mobile County. Kind of walking through Mobile County real quick. Citronelle, Chanchula, Gulf Crest, Georgetown, all the way to Cushla, Saraland, Satsuma, Chickasaw, all the way up 43. Nothing is happening at this moment. Is your severe weather threat over? No. We still have a squall line that is going to be coming through late tonight, 10, 11, midnight. If you're at the airport right now, you have some light rain that's falling. Downtown, light rain that's falling. You're kind of in a pause at this point. But we're going to be watching for that squall line that happens later on this evening. Irvington, we have some heavier rain that's falling right now. Theodore as well, light to moderate rain at this point. This is not severe, but we have some rain that's falling. We'll keep an eye on things over the next little bit. Your main event, once again, will be the squall line, 10 p.m., 11 p.m., midnight, 1, 2 o'clock. Then we go to the southern part of Mobile County. Again, we did have a tornado warning earlier this evening that was issued. Alabama Port, it was to the east of Codan. That northern end of the Dauphin Island Bridge there is kind of where we had the main part of the circulation. It was a very messy circulation, but that was where the strongest part of the storm. This was the kind of seed to the storm that is now over Baldwin County. But right now in southern Mobile County, Dauphin Island, we're just seeing some light rain showers. So hopefully that addresses some of the questions that are happening right now in the chat for Mobile County. If you're in Mississippi, we just have some light showers right now waiting for that those showers and waiting for the main squall line later on tonight.
And in Baldwin County right now, we are under severe thunderstorm warning. The area is kind of hard to see because of the colors, but if we switch over to velocity, you can see it right here. This is the outline for the storm-based warning. So when you say, severe thunderstorm warning for Baldwin County, that is not the whole county. It's for parts of Baldwin County. It's specifically the areas in this orange box: Summerdale, Robertsdale, and down towards about Fish River. And this is the part of it with the most extreme winds right now. It is. We just had an update from one of our spotters there that we've got some very low-hanging clouds around the Fairhope soccer complex, and so that's going to be close to, I believe the soccer complex is the one that's different than the one that's actually located at OWA, correct, yes, Nicholas?
That soccer complex is behind the high school. Sorry, I lost my
right back in here.
So this is where the soccer complex, that's an interesting place to be seeing rotation. There's the high school right here.
Yeah, it's probably not rotating there, but it is probably a low-hanging cloud.
Yes.
And this is a terrible thunderstorm. I mean, we've got a severe thunderstorm warning for Baldwin County right now. It's not an ideal scenario. There's probably some rotation right there, but at this point, we're not under a tornado warning for that location.
Yeah, I mean, that would be extremely broad rotation.
Right.
There. But I could see why somebody would be seeing low-hanging clouds like that. I also understand, I mean, that the lightning right now is just prolific there.
So it's easy to see those clouds,
yes.
right?
In fact, we were looking earlier when we were looking at some of the thunderstorms from Dauphin Island. I mean, my goodness, it looks spooky. You saw lowering, but it's just the creepy looking clouds that we see because it's a strong thunderstorm. That's just always how it is. But yeah, there is some broad rotation here. Our main concern, of course, is the severe thunderstorm warning and the damaging winds. So who's next in line for this? Let's kind of get going here. This severe thunderstorm warning, let me get the information again. It continues until 8:30. They have the tornado possible tag on it now as well. I think that's a good call by the Weather Service just in case something does spin up. This pushes off to the east. Our main impact for winds, it looks like Highway 59, Robertsdale, Summerdale. It's happening pretty soon. Storm motion here. This is again east at 25. So we're going to draw a track here in a second and get this going. See, this will be a 30-minute track, so it'll be a little more detailed. I'll kind of lead that a little bit over Loxley.
There you go.
And we'll do kind of northeast there. Got a lot on the screen here, but this is the main timing. Along Fish River right now, the main edge is getting on Fish River at this very moment there. Robertsdale, Summerdale. Right now, if you're in Silver Hill, you're starting to get some of the heavy rain, probably some gusty winds as well. Robertsdale, 812, Summerdale, anywhere between 812 and 820, and Summerdale, folks along 59 there in particular, kind of off the intersection of 32. Looking at that signature on radar, that might be a bit of a punch right now with some of those stronger winds. So just be ready for that. Eventually getting east of 59, Elsinore by around 8:32 p.m. And that is kind of the main batch there with this severe thunderstorm. So that's kind of the timing there as this rolls through Baldwin County. Again, Baldwin County is our focus right now. Pensacola, we have some light rain, but there's nothing going on right now. The immediate concern, your concern, of course, will be the squall line later tonight. This one particular supercell, though, Jason, just happens to be kind of the big one that is causing all of the trouble here this evening. We expected scattered showers and thunderstorms ahead of this, but it looks like one just decided to take over.
Yeah, it's
suck up the environment.
One monster supercell thunderstorm that's going on in Baldwin County, and we saw this starting to materialize a little more than an hour ago over the Gulf of Mexico. It's moved in and it's tracking to the north. The wind part of it is going due east, but the whole cell is really gaining some latitude here.
I'll put it in motion for you.
And the hope is that that it gets far enough north, it gets in a little bit more stable air mass and does not continue to exhibit rotation and maintain its severe intensity all the way up through Escambia County, Florida. But we will track it for you here through the evening. And then, of course, we're still dealing with the main squall line that's going to come through a little later tonight.
Yeah, I'll pull out
there is an
actually
amazing amount of lightning right there.
Yeah, this is just an incredible picture to look at both our prefrontal, pre-squall line stuff that we have. That's that big supercell. And then the main line here. What an impressive squall line that has developed here, stretching from Houma, Louisiana, with frequent lightning there. Severe thunderstorm warning start north of Lake Pontchartrain there. And it goes all the way up to almost Columbus at that point there for all of your squall line and tornado warnings and embedded stuff. So we've been talking about this earlier. What we're experiencing right now is the scattered thunderstorm part of the severe weather threat. Remember, we talked about kind of 2 rounds if you were watching earlier today. This is the scattered thunderstorm part. It ended up being one really big thunderstorm, but still one isolated thunderstorm that is ahead of the main squall line. We'll keep our eye on things over the next little while, see if any of these other light rain showers end up getting going. But the main event tonight, 10 p.m., 11 p.m., all the way through the pre-dawn hours, is that line that you see off to your west. There's your timing for you there. Hopefully, the main squall line gets out of our western areas by 4 a.m., out of our central areas by 5 a.m., out of our eastern areas by 6 a.m. That is at the latest. So again, overnight tonight, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 4, 5, 6 in the morning, you will have that window of the squall line rolling through. It is going to be loud. It is going to be rowdy. There will probably be warnings that are issued, and we will be getting you covered, of course, here. We'll be live streaming if we need to as the storms roll through, because I know it's going to be waking a lot of people up as well, and that's just never a fun thing for an overnight event.
Oh, definitely. You know, nothing is worse than an overnight, middle of the night type event. So you want to keep your phone next to you. So if we do go under a tornado warning, it will wake you up if you don't have a weather radio. A lot of people don't have weather radios these days, and the phone can help get you the information that you need, and you can go and check which alerts you want to be notified by. That way this thing isn't bothering you when for things that don't concern you. But the most important things would be severe thunderstorm warning and tornado warnings. That would be the main things. Also, perhaps a flash flood warning would be a good thing to have for you, so that it alerts you when we have these warnings, and you can see that right there. So these are the settings. It's real easy to adjust your settings on your phone and get the warnings that you need.
Yeah, and a lot of folks ask about that. You can also adjust the sounds on there. That is on the top corner if you're on the Fox 10 Weather app, the homepage. The top corner of the app has the settings, and you can adjust those. But we want you to have the Fox 10 alerts on and the severe alerts on, especially for tonight with our round of storms that'll be rolling through. So taking a look at what's going on here, let's look at Futurecast one more time, get you the timing of this cluster of storms ahead of it, and then the squall line as well. And then we'll kind of take a brief pause here maybe, and then we're going to be preparing for our 9 p.m. newscast as well. So here's 9 o'clock tonight. You see that big thunderstorm that is located right now over Mobile Bay. It is actually being seen in the forecast model there. You can see that right there. So understand that we're going to have some thunderstorms continuing on over the next hour or so in our area ahead of the main squall line. The main squall line doesn't enter Jackson, George, Greene counties until around 10, 11 o'clock. This line, as we've seen right now, could have severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings going on. Some of the severe thunderstorms could produce damaging winds, and embedded in that, we could see some spin-out tornadoes. We'll be watching that very, very closely. By 11 o'clock, this thing starts to push into Washington County, Mobile County. That is the main squall line that I'm talking about. That's that damaging wind squall line that I'm talking about. 11 o'clock, Washington County, Mobile County, Jackson County, Mississippi. By midnight, this forecast model has Clark County, Mobile County, Jackson County. By 1 a.m., this has Monroe County, places like Bay Minette along I-65, downtown Mobile, Grand Bay, all the way down to Codan, seeing some of that with the actual main squall line rolling through there. By 2 a.m., Baldwin County, along Interstate 65, folks in Atmore, all the way up to Evergreen. By 3 a.m., stuff gets a little scattered there at the bottom of the line you see, but the main squall line overall starting to impact Pensacola by around 3 a.m. All my folks in Pensacola, 3 a.m. Make sure you have your alerts on for that. Bruton, 3 a.m., kind of the main squall line rolling through here. Also just east of Evergreen in Connecticut County, that's when the main squall line rolls through. By 4 a.m., hopefully Mobile is done, our Mississippi counties are done, Washington County is done, Clark County is done. It is just Northwest Florida that we're dealing with. We'll be keeping an eye on that. Northwest Florida, Santa Rosa, Okaloosa counties, Crestview, Milton, Pace, all the way down to Navarre. You will be dealing with a squall line. That should exit the area hopefully around 5, 6 o'clock. By the time we get towards Sunday morning, later in the morning, it is a lovely, actually pretty decently sunny day. Later on in the evening, it should actually be a nice
Yeah, that's
picture.
what we're all waiting for right there, Nicholas, is to see some good weather, because this is day 2 of active weather across the Gulf Coast. Yesterday, we were in a level 1 marginal risk, and we saw some significant severe weather in our area. Tonight is a much higher risk, and we also have a tornado watch in effect. So we expect some rough weather as we go through the night. Right now, our only active warning is a severe thunderstorm warning for Baldwin County. We're going to take a break from our live stream right now and get ready for Fox 10 News at 9. We're going to have a full-blown newscast. Hopefully, we don't have any active warnings then. We'll get you up to speed on what's happening and have more comprehensive coverage of what's going on air and on our live streams. And we'll have coverage through the night as this squall line approaches. And thanks for joining us here for our live stream. Looks like a severe thunderstorm continues to track east across Baldwin County.